Hello everyone, and welcome to this fresh instalment of Engine Snacks. We are looking today at a treat, Weiss, winning with white against Amoeba in the TCEC Season 22 League 4. Weiss has been playing really nicely so far, and this Mora Gambit against Amoeba was pretty nice. So Amoeba's played it a little bit oddly, it must be said. Two bishops for black, and a decent looking centre, but some very strangely placed pieces, in particular the queen on b6 and knight on a5. But yeah, I mean, you know, the way to break through is not at all clear, and certainly the way that Weiss found is certainly not at all obvious. What White did in this position was to play bishop h7. What on earth is that about? Rook h8, and now the gorgeous move, bishop g6. And this really hits at the huge weakness in black's position, which is, the e6 pawn. It's not defended by the light squared bishop, which has moved off the c8 h3 diagonal. But this is a very unusual way of exploiting it. And there's just a simple threat at the moment. Bishop takes f7. If you go f takes g6, we follow up with the not at all obvious follow-up, knight e5. And, well, White is actually threatening to play either knight f7 check or knight takes g6. And this is really horrible. Queen c7 was a deep high axis line, knight g6. And, well, if we do something like rook g8, for example, there's a few alternatives, but this one's pretty powerful. Queen takes e6. We're threatening rook takes d6 check, and also this knight on a5 is getting trapped with b3 to b4 as well. So yeah, Hayaks was suggesting queen f7, knight h8, queen f6, queen h5, threatening knight f7 or knight g6, and after queen h8 we've got queen takes a5 check with a winning position for white. So Amoeba played queen c7, keeping it tight at the back, and then another lovely move, knight a4. So the rook is opening up this pin against the bishop on c6. I mean, we're threatening b4. The knight on a5 is very short of squares, and we're also looking at this b6 square. So f takes g6. We follow up with knight d4, which is going to be really nasty. We're going to be following up with knight e6 and then knight b6 once the queen moves. Again, really powerful play from White. So bishop takes f3 was played, queen takes f3, knight c6, the knight's brought back into play, but I mean black doesn't even have the two bishops anymore, just the king in the centre, and it's time now for Weiss to organise the next assault, which is still on the light squares, but now it's the queenside light squares. Bishop e4, threatening the knight on c6, rook c8 and knight c5. Look at that one, and we've got threats of knight takes b7 and knight a6, and then the knight on c6 will go. Rook g8, h4. Weiss not rushing things, stopping the rook from getting to g5, also giving the king an escape square, and basically asking black, what are you going to do? Amoeba didn't find anything great to do, just hit the queen and move back. Knight takes a6, queen a5, and queen takes f7. And, well, you can see that it's going to be curtains. But again, the tactical way that Weiss wins is really nice. Queen a6, bishop takes c6, b takes c6, and now just take a moment to have a little look at it. We've got quite a few ways to win. I mean, queen takes g8 might be quite a nice one, but Weiss goes for the even stronger rook d2, which is absolutely killing. Rook a8 takes, king c8, queen takes g8, and the win wasn't far away. So a very, very nice game from Weiss, and I really thought that this idea, bishop h7, rook h8, bishop g6, very unusual, but a perfect way of exploiting the fact that the e6 square, which is often very sensitive for black in these Sicilians, was particularly weak just because the bishop, the light square bishop, was no longer on the c8 h3 diagonal, but had moved to the long diagonal. Really beautiful game from Weiss.